Right. Let's see what we got. Apologize for the wind in advance. It's kind of windy. Let's see if the message get out to people. See if we get anybody to join in. Let's see what happens. Think the rain is gone. Think I'm in a good spot. If not, I'll be able to move the phone, do whatever I need to do. Let's see how this goes. 30 seconds. Has anybody got the message? It's a weird night, man. I would imagine that a lot of people are at PCA. I would imagine that a lot of people are getting ready for work. I would imagine that a lot of people ain't got a lot of downtime to sit with a kid. What we gonna see? That patisserie. I hate the lighting on this damn thing. Like, why is that so washed out? What is, like, really? Ain't no way to focus on that to make that better? Technology. There we go. La patisserie. There we go. Where is my cutter and my lighter? There we go. Shouts out to whoever joined in. Shouts out to whoever hit that like button. Thank you for joining the Vintage Cigar. My name is EKB. You might know me as Keelan. And you were watching the Vintage Cigar. Today we're gonna light the La Patisserie. I don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of battery power, so we're gonna see how this goes. I just kind of wanted to get some stuff off the chest. That's what Smoke Your Best Cigars is all about, right? It's getting shit off your chest. Smoking a good cigar, kind of taking a moment for yourself. You know what I was gonna do, man? I was gonna reward myself. And I was gonna wait till the end of the week to actually sit back and have a cigar. And I was gonna wait till the end of the week to smoke one of my best and just kind of allow, you know, everything that is on my brain. Fred, what up? Shouts out, homie. Thank you for joining in. And I was gonna wait until I did everything that I needed to do for the week, all the stuff that I had lined up, and then I was gonna sit back, smoke a really nice cigar, and say, I earned this motherfucker. Right? Whatever cigar that I was gonna grab at that time frame, it was gonna be one of my best. Ben, what up? And I was gonna say, in that moment, whatever this cigar is gonna be, I earned that bitch. All of my lighters do this shit. All of them. You can hear the sound of it, but it don't want to kick out any fire. There we go. So it just got to the point where I couldn't wait. I was like, I need a cigar. I needed some time to just kind of kick back and unwind. And I was hoping some people were going to be able to join on with me and just kind of shoot the breeze, chop it up with me, have some conversations. So before I get into anything else, while I have time, let me talk to y'all. I saw Fred was in here. Fred, what up? First thing I want to ask you, Fred, is how you doing, man? How are you? And I'm not saying that in a casual sense. You know when you pass by somebody, be like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Nobody means that shit. I'm genuinely asking, how you doing? Ben, how you doing, brother? How are you? Let me know genuinely how you doing. Said you're excited to see me on the Unbanded show soon. Your palate and knowledge of cigars is a good contestant. I appreciate that. And I hope that's going to be the case. I actually just got my Unbanded cigar in just a little bit ago. So I'm excited. I'm excited to do the show. I've been telling Peter how excited I am to be a part of the show, man. And y'all know I've been trying to hype it up because I just think it's a creative and a good show. That being said, I hope I don't let anybody down, man. Because it's funny because with the last Unbanded show, I pretty much called that what kind of cigar it was. I pretty much called um, that it was a J.C. Newman, and I thought it was gonna be a what was that joint? I thought it was gonna be the Julius Caesar, but I was like, nah, the color ain't right. They're not saying it's enough chocolate, and I was so close to getting it like dead on, but I was close. So now, like, I got that same expectation with my own episode, so I got to live up to that, and I'm like, it's nerve wracking. We're gonna see what happens. My man Fred said, I'm making it, bruh. Your boy is on crutches right now, fam. Word. Might have a slight tear in the meniscus. Dude, I've done that before, man. That tear in the meniscus is no joke, man. It's uncomfortable. It's a different kind of it's a different kind of pain. It's uncomfortable. You know, I feel you, man. Get well soon. Take your time. Don't rush it. And I'll mention the story about that in a second. I'll add on to that. Sal, what up, man? Thank you for joining in, baby. How you doing, man? I just asked Ben. I just asked Fred. Sal, how you doing? Anybody else in here? It's at least 8 people, you know. So let me know how you guys are doing. I'm genuinely asking. You know what I've noticed? It's a lot of lurkers, and it's not just on my show. It's not just on the Unbanded show. It's not just on the infamous show. It's not just on Big Guilty's podcast. It's a lot of people that are lurking around. And I'm noticing there's a lot of people lurking around in the backgrounds that don't say anything. They don't show who they are. And some of it is to go back and report the certain people and other people. Some of it is so they can kind of get, you know, a feel of the zeitgeist and get a feel of what's going on so they can add it to their shows and stuff like that. And some people are just kind of chilling. They aren't in a place where they can actually talk. You know, they just listening, and that's cool. That I can vibe with. The other one's kind of weird, man. But it's a lot of that happening. Say, hell yeah, bro. It's very uncomfortable, dog. Yeah, I feel you, man. Get well soon. What you coaching the kids, man? You trying to show them some moves and you put a little juke on somebody? Tore the meniscus up, folded the meniscus a little bit. What happened, man? I ain't making fun of you. It's just like we getting up there, dog. We ain't kids no more. The body don't react the same way that it used to. You know what I mean? So trust me, that ain't clowning you at all. It's just saying like I usually that's how that goes. Or or it's a freak accident. Or it's just like, yo, you just step off a curb and it's just everything just fold up. I'm like, come on, man. Did I just tear my meniscus? Did I tear an ACL? What happened? So I'm not clowning. I swear I'm not clowning. I'm curious. Genuinely curious. A lot of this episode why I'm here is gonna be about vulnerability. You know, when you when you're on camera like this and when you're in front of people and when you put your content out there, when you put your information out there, when you put your creative ideas out there, you're left vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? You're left in a place where you got to kind of be careful because there's a lot of people that are willing to kind of manipulate who you are or just see you as a surface. You just become a talking head. You're not a person. You're not flesh and bone. You know, look at it. I got a scar. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know where I got that scar from. You're not you're not somebody that has like personal issues that you know like you got to put your underwear on one leg at a time just like everybody else. You know, you gotta wipe your ass just like everybody else. You get hungry just like other people get hungry. I think people kind of lose sight of that because they see you in these like 10 to 15 minute blurbs, or they see you for 2 to 3 hours with other people, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They kind of lose sight of the fact that like you got a serial number and you got a social security number. You got a personal address. You know what I mean? You got a mother, you got a father, you got kids, you got stuff like you got shit that you got to deal with. You might have an ailment, you might have a torn meniscus. You know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff that people don't understand. And and put a pin in that. Let me kind of read these comments, see what everybody else is saying. Sal said I'm hanging with it. Let's see, all of it. Taking it all in for the most part. I'm happy and grateful. Cool. Thank you for asking. No doubt, man. And I'm glad you're doing well. Daniel Garcia is up in the place to be, man. He said, love the last infamous smoke show. Sanj is a cool cat. Sanj is a mercurial and interesting dude, man. And he's a wealth of knowledge. He's a lot of energy. And very generous and motivated dude. So I respect that to the fullest, man. And it was a good show because like he's gonna give you some information. Like you know, it's a lot of people that you can interview or just have on the show. Then they might be quiet, they might sit back. Sanj ain't gonna do that. Sanj is gonna give you something to chew on and to bite down on. So Fred said, nah, man, I fell down the stairs at the school. Makes sense. It's after a night game, and the outside stairs of the school are really dark, and I couldn't see. And I thought, oh, dude, I've done that before. Not to that extent, but when you think you got that last step right there, and it ain't right, yeah, bro. I hope you feel better, man. Genuinely, I hope you feel better. Intercar said, finally had a black honey yesterday. Excellent cigar. I've been hearing mixed reviews about that. I've been hearing it's either really good or it's meh. Also had a stolen throne with 3 years on it. Overall, a great herf with the Bros Socialist Utopia of Portland. Okay, you might have to tell me a little bit more about that crew, man. It sounds pretty interesting. If I say anything about socialism, I might get in trouble on this channel. Ah, boy. I'm glad to see you on here tonight, man. Hey, glad to see you join with me, man. Glad to see everybody here. Intercourse, how you doing, man? And I'm genuinely asking, how are you? Sanj is hilarious and knows his shit. Wish I like the SB 1014 more. No, I feel you, man. And it's like, dog, it's not gonna be for everybody, man. I think it's a good cigar. I like the SB 1014, red and the black. But I can honestly see why some people wouldn't like that cigar. I get it. But I still say try the rest of the portfolio as well, because one thing that I do appreciate about his blends is they're not all the same. You can actually smoke them and taste the difference. Like I could taste the difference with the Orioles tail from the Connecticut to the Habano to the Maduro. I've had all three of them now. They all taste different. You know, the Cameroon is my favorite out of anything that he's done so far. It's not gonna taste like the SB 1014 or the black. So you gotta, you know, I would recommend trying them all, man, and see which one floats your boat a little bit. You said it's a couple of guys you met on Reddit? All right, bet. Said I'm doing great. Need to try the Industry Killer. Yeah, I highly recommend it, man. I recommend it. Now, I'm not saying that I think you're gonna love it. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that it's different enough that I think it's worth the try. That I think it's worth, you know, kind of seeing how that works for you. My man said, I really do appreciate you asking, my dog. You good? How are you? Appreciate that. And I'm going to get into that. And thank you for asking, too, man. While we on, and I'm being vulnerable, I wanted to piggyback off of what you were saying about how you injured your knee, man. And how that, like, and part of the reason why I was saying to be extra careful on that, it's like a personal thing to me. Right? I told you guys about my pops. Told you that I lost my pops at a very young age. But I never told you guys how I lost my pops. My father used to play for the Army. He used to play football. And he was number 77. And when he played football for the Army, he injured his knee playing football. This is back in the late 70s, early 80s, right? So, the technology wasn't what it is today when you get injured. So my pops was on crutches. And my pops was 5'11", about 215 pounds, solid dude, about my height. He had me by 20 or 30 pounds, you know what I'm saying? Like, but now that I'm mature and I'm his age, that I look like him, you know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff is kind of odd to think about that. Solid dude, solid tree trunk legs. But he came up in that era, after the Vietnam War, and, cats was, did Vietnam shit. Grew up in the South. Grew up with all the slavery, post-slavery, post-Jim Crow, during Jim Crow, all of that. Like he dealt with some stuff. He was a street dude. My pops was a real everyday street dude, you know. And everybody that knew my pops was like, "Yo, man, your dad was a wild dude, man. That's a wild cat." You know what I'm saying? So he was that headstrong, 70s era, black exploitation era. Like, hey, there ain't no crying, there ain't no, tears. Man got to be a man type dude, right? So he injured his leg playing football, and when he injured his leg, the doctor was just like, "Yo, you got to take some time. You got to take some time. You got to chill." And he was like, "Fuck that, man. I'm gonna get up on my own too, and I'm gonna walk." So he was one of those cats that he didn't just stop. He tried to, keep helping my mom. He tried to keep helping with the kids. He tried to go to work. Military dude, trying to walk around. He would walk on his leg. And not to get too graphic, but one day he got up, and my brother was watching Captain Caveman. I'm in the crib. He's sitting with my brother, and he get up, and he go to my wife, and he go sit at the end, not my wife, but his wife, my mom, and he sit on the edge of the bed, and he was like, "Bob, call the doctor." And he fell over on the floor. His leg was bleeding. So this 215-pound man, the paramedics had to come get him and strap him to a chair to take him downstairs to get him up out of the house, get him to the hospital. Long story short, my pop ain't make it back. And what happened is that because of the pressure and stuff that he was putting on his leg, it caused him to have a blood clot. And it caused him to kind of re-injure his leg. But they didn't have the technology to save him. But they did, but some malpractice there. Saying that to say is that sometimes you got to be a little bit careful, man, because those little things and your ego can get in the way, pride can get in the way, and it can make you do some stupid shit. They can make you just like, feel like you're a Superman. And sometimes we like as people we feel like that we gotta be tougher for people. We gotta have that machismo. We gotta be stronger than everybody. Sometimes we need to learn when to take a step back, and when to think, when to chill a little bit. And part of why I'm asking how everybody else is doing, man, because I've been having kind of like a rough time mentally myself. I'm not in a bad way. It's certain days when I'm like, I enjoy everything that I'm doing. I live in Japan. I got a wife and kids. And I got all my health. I can get up and I can go to the gym. I can get in the car every day and I can drive pretty much wherever I want to go. I got food on the table. I got technology and I got all the amenities and I got all the stuff that I need. But then it's another side that feel like, yo, I ain't got enough. And I ain't doing enough. And things aren't going well enough. My channel didn't go as well as I wanted my channel to go. And it's like some of the things that I had on my checklist, I ain't get done on my checklist today. Or while I was at work today, I could have done something a little bit better than I did the day before. I could have done a little something better that day, and I rack my brain, and I stay up at night trying to figure out how I can be a better person. So you have those days when you procrastinate, where you didn't study enough, where you didn't read enough, whether you didn't fill out the checklist, or you were supposed to do something for your wife, you didn't get that done. You were supposed to contact somebody. Maybe you were supposed to call your mama. Maybe you were supposed to fix a light fixture in the house. Maybe you were supposed to get the windshield wipers changed on the car. Maybe you had an assignment at work that you didn't do, the way you were supposed to. Maybe you have a project that you need to get done, You know, so you can kind of build your own company, build your own career, and do something, and you didn't work hard enough on it. Maybe you didn't do enough reps at the gym. Maybe you didn't make dinner the right way. And I've been finding these things where it's just like I get in these moments where I was kind of down, and I was just kind of like, you know, really tough. I've been tough on myself recently. So every day, I'm trying to set these goals, and I'm trying to, you know, do these motivational things, and I'm trying to figure out each day how to improve as a person. How do I make my skin look better? How do I make my clothes look better? How do I make my body look better? How do I make my handwriting better? How do, like, every day is like, okay, I'm trying to figure out something to be a better person. How do I be a better friend? How do I be a better, you know, channel? You know, how do I make my channel better? Like, I'm trying to figure out all these things. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what Robert is saying in here. Shouts out, Robert. First of all, man, before I get into that, how are you doing, brother? And it says, thanks for sharing that story. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Your dad sounded like an awesome man. I gotta say, man, my pops was from what I knew of my pops, was he was a really cool cat, man. He was really a talented dude, a really smart dude. And it's funny because when you don't know somebody personally, like, and this is your blood, when you look in the mirror and you see that person's face, or you look at old pictures, or you look at your sibling and you see that person's face and you see some, you know, it's kind of a weird thing. So all the stuff that I know about my dad all came from like my mom or my aunts or my uncle. I think I did a smoke your best cigar when my uncle passed away. I think I did that. And I was telling you, like, one thing that I had connected to my uncle was that he served in the Vietnam War with my pops. And they were good friends. But my uncle had alcohol issues, man. My uncle, you know, was a Jekyll and Hyde. But one thing he would do, man, I'm sorry, I'm getting kind of misty just thinking about it, is that he would tell me stories about my pops and stuff that I'd never heard, man. And when he or my aunt would tell me stories about my pops, man, the smile that they would have on their face was like the cool thing. Or when I would go back home and somebody would see me, like, man, you look like somebody that I know, man. And, you know, it's like, who your daddy and all that. I tell them who my pops was. It's like, oh, that's your dad? Oh, man, I grew up with your dad, man, and he was like this, and he was cool, man. He was the funnest dude in the neighborhood, man. He used to go up under the bridge, and he would hang under the bridge and do quite crazy, wild stuff. So that type of stuff I try to keep. You know what I'm saying? And in the same process, I try to add a little bit into my everyday. I don't want to be my dad. That was a different era. It was a different time frame. It was a different body. But I do want to embody some of the stuff that he embodied. So, you know, when my time is up, when I'm not on this platform anymore, or if whatever could happen, you know, years down the road, I want people to be able to tell stories and have a smile on their face the same way they, you know, about me as they did with my pops. And, you know, my pops was flawed too, man. Like I could tell stories about my pops' flaws and whatnot too. He was flawed too. And DJ just told me a moment ago, man, that I was beautifully flawed. And that's a good thing. Beautifully flawed. And I'm all right with that. And I got to be all right with that right now. Intercourse says, it seems like you have a highly conscientious personality. Give yourself a break. You have high standards for yourself. You're probably doing just fine. And in some ways, you're right. And in a lot of ways, you're right. But I was literally just telling the fellas that, man, the New Wave cast, I was literally just telling that I'm my toughest critic. I'm my toughest critic. I'm hard on myself. But at the same time, I know that I have to be hard on myself. I know that I gotta push myself because there ain't nobody else gonna push me. You know, you have your friends, you have your teachers, you have You know, family members that might, you know, try to motivate you. You got the people that inspire you. But at the same time, man, if you don't get yourself off of your ass, if you don't get yourself in the point where you're not, you know, checking yourself, if you're disrespecting other people, if you're being negative, if you're being negative towards yourself, if you're not putting forth the effort, if you're not putting in that extra rep, whatever that extra rep may be, if it's learning a new word, if it's the way you're introducing yourself, if it's in the gym and you're not pushing yourself, if you're not taking the extra jump shot, or if you're not, you know, running the extra 40, you know, if you whatever you're doing, if you're not trying to say like, okay, yo, dude, you gotta improve, you gotta be better, you gotta be smarter, you gotta be more thoughtful, you gotta remember it's trash day, you gotta remember to take out the trash, you know, you got an appointment today, you gotta remember everything that you got on your calendar, double check your calendar, whatever it gotta be, man, whatever it is, you gotta have that level of self improvement for yourself. If you're making a cigar channel, right, you gotta say like, hey, you only got 100 views on that last video, whatever that video was. Okay, your thumbnail wasn't right the next time. How can you improve your thumbnail? How can you improve on your whatever your caption is gonna be? Okay, my video might be too long. How do I make this video 10 minutes but still pack the same kind of energy that I put in the 20-minute video, but do it in a more concise and deliberate way? You know? And everything that you got to do, you got to be able to allocate for yourself and to time yourself and to organize yourself. So, just a moment ago, I got a tunnel. You see this? I thought this thing was smoking weird. Look at this tunnel, man. You see that? That's kind of frustrating. I knew this thing was smoking weird, but it almost felt like there was a stem in here or something. I ain't feel like fucking with it. I gotta try to fix this. But what I was saying before I noticed that was look at that. What I was saying before I noticed that is that I lost my train of thought. That kind of bothered me a little bit. Give me a second. I'm trying to get my thought together. Give me a sec. It'll come back. Oh, okay. So, before I came on, there's a cat that's been watching my show for a long time, man. And honestly, he supported my channel long before I was popular. Long before I was popular. Long before I had 500 subscribers, he was watching the show. And thank y'all for the comments too. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get back to y'all. So keep that coming. So long before anybody knew who EKB was, long before anybody came to my channel, he's been there. And I gotta appreciate that, man. And I gotta respect people who have been down with me pretty much from day one. And I've been telling my man that I was gonna send him out something. And I was gonna send it to him just because I wanted to send him a bomb. And I appreciate him. But I was supposed to get him some stickers. My stickers got lost in the move. And so I tried to give him some of my newer stickers that I just found. So like it's taken me a long time to get on this package. And it's taken me a long time to get a lot of people packages. And it's kind of interesting. I think people kind of lose sight of what we are and who we are in general. And if I tell you I'm gonna do something, I'm trying to do it. If I'm late, if I'm behind, that might be the case. But if I tell you I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. So if you guys saw the other day that I did I did an unboxing. and I did a humidor tour. And I pulled out one of the packages and was like, yo, this is going out to my homie. I'm going to try to get this out really quick. I'm not going to tell y'all who it is, but it's on the way. And I got a lot of people that I feel like personally I owe boxes to. But I don't feel like I owe anybody anything. But this is just me like saying, like, I told you guys I'm going to do this, so I'm going to do it. Right? So my man hit me up today. Was like, yo, do you just not rock with me? Do you just not have enough money? Or what is it, man, that you ain't doing this? So, you know, that are you trying to be Lee Mack or something like that? And I'm just like, come on, man. I'm hoping you joking. I'm hoping you like ribbing me. Like I'm hoping you just poking at me just to try to see like, you know this you teasing me just like, okay, I'm gonna get a laugh out of this. But I also kind of took it in a way like you really trying to question me like I don't care. And I care, bro. I care. I got your package already. I took the time, I organized it. I tried to put in cigars that I thought you would like. You know, I put in extra stickers and I got everything organized. But there is a financial cost to it for me to send out boxes to a lot of people. I got 4,000 subscribers. I got friends. I got family. I got a lot of people. I got, you know, it's just like, and I don't live in a place where I can just go to the post office and just say, here, send this. I'm not in that place, man. I'm in a different country with a limited time span. And I got a lot of stuff that I got to do. And I care, bro. If I tell you, like, if I'm behind, I'm behind. And sometimes it might be procrastination. It might be depression. It might be the fact that I've been busy all week teaching classes, teaching my kids how to do certain things. Get dressed. Matter of fact, I got to go take my daughter out in just a moment. So it's a lot of stuff going on, man. It's nobody in here. Like, when y'all see on my channel, anybody that's ever commented on my channel, that's ever watched the channel or anything like that, if y'all ever sent me a DM, don't I get back to you? Don't I like, what we talking about here, man? We talking about practice? We talking about practice, man. Not the game. What are we talking about, man? Like, when y'all see me, like, I put my blood, sweat, and tears out here, man. It hasn't been anybody that I have just blown off or just disrespected or just like, yo, I'm not really with it. That's never happened, man. So if you're lurking or if word gets back to you, I promise it's going to get out to you. Just give me time. I'm never going to leave any of y'all hanging, man. I might not be the fastest. I might not be right on time, but I'm always going to be there. But I got to admit, man, like, it's been certain things that, like, that people have said to me recently that's kind of gotten under my skin a little bit. And it's kind of bothering me. And part of it might not be them. It might just be me in the vulnerable space that I've been in. You feel me? I'm really struggling with this cigar, man. You see that? It's still tunneling. Sassier's up in the place to be. What up? How you doing, Kendall? First of all, let me know how you doing, man. Let me catch back up on these comments that I missed out on while I got a little bit of time here. So it seems like, okay, I read that one. Perception is key to growth. That tunnel was a shame on that cigar. It's usually spot on. It is, man. And that's why I'm not even really complaining or tripping on the cigar. It is what it is. You have these technical issues sometimes with cigars. It just happens. And I got others in the humidor. I got another one I can light up right now. I don't know if I'm gonna get into that or not. See, I'm so glad I caught you early in the stream. I hate when I show up late. I love hearing you talk on deep level about life and cigars, man. I'm glad you're here, man. That means a lot, bro. I appreciate that. I really do. He said I got some goats in the humidor. It's some good stuff in that humidor, man. And a lot of that has come to, you know, from a lot of people sharing some stuff with me. I just got a bond from Peter, man, so I can do his Cigars Unbanded show. Peter just sent me some heat. Heat. When I tell you it's some heaters, it's some goats in that joint, and I'm excited about it. Plus, he sent me my cigar for the Cigars Unbanded, And I think maybe it was Sal that was just talking about that. That I can't wait to get on that show, man, and really get a chance to kick it with the cigars. I really like Roger, man. I like Felipe. I like Peter. And just to have fun on the show is gonna be real cool, man. So I can't wait to get down with that, man. And I got some stuff that I want to sit back and smoke at the end of the week. So I'm gonna do another live at the end of the week if I got time, man. Have a good day, my man. Yeah, you get back to people real fast. I try to, man, and I know I'm not there all the time. I know I'm on a different time frame than everybody else, and I feel bad sometimes because a lot of times when people send me a message, I'm knocked out, I'm asleep. Or I'm working or doing errands and stuff like that, but I definitely try to get back to people. And sometimes I feel bad myself because it might be short, because I'm driving, or because I'm trying to do something. But I'm trying to stay with it because there's nobody like that is taking the time to try to share my airspace or to send me a message that you're not taking the time out of your day to chop it up with me. And I'm a regular dude, man, and so it means a lot when people care about the channel. To get the feedback like Intercost just gave, man, or Sal just gave some really good feedback. Fred just gave some really, like, all of that stuff means something, man. And it's a little bit of a push. It's a little bit of a motivation. It's a little bit something that keeps the creative juices flowing. It's something that kind of keeps you centered and grounded. And you guys give me a place to kind of, let all this stuff off, man, and just kind of express how I see the world. And I get to see your perspectives, and I get to see how you guys see the world. I get to, get feedback on my own perspective and how I'm taking a look at things. It allows me to dissect and appreciate. It allows me to appreciate the cigar. It allows me to appreciate the moment. It allows me to appreciate a lot of different personalities from all across the globe, man. That's some cool shit. He said if they didn't pay for the bonds, they need to sit back and chill and like a real friend. Made them a promise, and they should trust your word and understand people who have lives. That's kind of how I feel, man. But I know he's been waiting. So, like, on my end, I know he's been waiting for a minute. But at the same time, like, this is just a gesture. You know what I'm saying? It's not an obligation. I'm not doing it for work. I'm not doing it to increase my viewership. I'm doing it because, like, dude been rocking with me for a minute. You know what I'm saying? But it's been a lot of people. Like, I've been trying to get back to people. Like, hey, it's coming. I got you. I know I told you I was gonna get it last week. I couldn't get it last week. I told you I was gonna get it a month ago. I couldn't get it a month ago. But I literally just moved, from another side of this country to another part of the country. And I don't think a lot of people understand like what goes into like when you living in a different country. Everything is red tape. Everything is like you got to re-register your cars. You got to re-register your home. You got to find a new home. You got to set up your home. You got to buy stuff from your home. You got to get situated in your new job. You got to get a new job. You got to get your kids into school. Like, this ain't stopped for me, bro. I was living in a hotel for 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't stopped for me, bro. This ain't none of this stop. I just spent all day trying to get my car registered. No, I was doing my wife's car today. I was trying to get my wife's car registered, man. I'm trying to get stuff taken care of on her car. And all of this is in a different language. I had to get a translator. I had I'm not just like sitting here twiddling my thumbs, man. I'm always gonna try to be there for people, man. But it's a lot of people that I gotta be there for. Self included. Said I've been tracking the package that I sent you and it's still on its way. I sent it from LA and the post office sent it to New York and then somewhere else. It's on the way to you. Don't stress that, brother. I know how it goes. Trust me. Trust me, I know how it goes. Like when I first started sending stuff out, man, like it was in the middle of COVID and trying to get stuff across the country. Like it was a lot, man. Stuff would have to go to Chicago, then it would go to New York, then it would go across the border, then they got to do all the checks. It's cool. It'll get here. Peter's just got here, so don't stress it. And like you're doing that out of the kindness of your heart, man. So I'm not stressing it when it get here. I'm grateful and thankful. So don't sweat it. It'll come. Hopefully there won't be any hiccups or anything like that. It's all to the good. As they say in Japan, daijobu. Daijobu. It's cool. Don't sweat it. Zen zen daijobu. Nothing at all to it. It's all good. This has been a real bum ass cigar experience. Watch this. You see how I look right now? Watch this. Tunnel like a motherfucker. And I'm not gonna light up a new one, man. I gotta take my daughter to play basketball, man. I've been trying to like, I got her getting dressed. My daughter, man, this girl been making me super proud. I showed y'all my artwork that my daughter did the other day, and my daughter's been improving as an artist. And the chick has been motivating herself, man, and she's been trying. So my whole thing as a dad, man, is just try to stay behind her and keep her motivated. Same way I'm trying to keep myself motivated. I got this other life form that I got to teach to be even better than I am, by a long shot. And she's improving. And she's just a good, sweet person. So I wanted to come here and chop it up with you guys real quick. Then I got to run off and look after her and make sure she's doing what she got to do. He said, I'm stressing on it. I want you to get it and enjoy. Word up, my brother. I will get it. I will enjoy it, man. So no sweat, man. Don't sweat it. I appreciate you. Like, in all earnesty, man. Don't even worry about it. It'll make it here. He said, I'm smoking a Le Carême. It's like smoking a fruit salad. One of the all-time favorites, man. I absolutely love that cigar, man. The way I describe it is like it's like a chocolate brownie, man. Like that, you get a little bit of that salty in there, man. And then you get all those sweet flavors in there. Sometimes you get the blueberries. Sometimes you get that, mousse. You get that fudginess in there. That's one of my favorite cigars all time. So I totally agree with you. This La Patisserie, or the pastry, is a really good cigar too. And I can still get the flavors in this one, but once you get a tunnel, man, it's like your cigar is never the same after that. I like that y'all sit back and have a cigar with me sometimes, though, man. It means a lot. You know, I miss, being able to just kind of sit in with people and to light up a cigar and try something that, somebody else recommends. Or, like, one of my favorite, like, experiences is when I lived in Fresno, I was on a cigar journey. And I would go to this cigar lounge called Cigar Mosfino. That was kind of a good ways away from my house. And I would go out there, and that wasn't really the demographic for this place. When I first went in there, they would kind of follow me around the humidor and stuff like that. But then I got to the point where I was in there and I started talking to them about cigars and my cigar journey and what I was trying to get interested in and what I was trying. And they got to the point where they started suggesting cigars to me. They learned my name. They knew what I like to eat. Like, it became one of the spots that they knew who I was when I went in there. You know what I mean? And it became a place that they really kind of got a lot more respect for me as a person as I got in there. And one day, man, I'm sitting there talking with the owner one day, and I'm just like, yo, I don't know what I want to smoke today. I don't know what I want to try. I don't know what I'm in the mood for. And this dude that was sitting there chopping up with the owner, he was telling me how cool the owner was, and man, he was just, he was ranting and raving. He was like, yo, you need to try Aurora cigars. And this is the first time I had an Aurora, and it was the 20th anniversary, I think. It had the red and black band on it, said Aurora, and it had the yellow paper. And I think if I'm doing it off the top, man, it had the yellow tissue paper on the bottom of it. And he was just like, man, you got to try this cigar. You're going to love it. And it was a Maduro. And I smoked that cigar with him, and I didn't say anything for a while. I'm letting them have their conversations back and forth, and I'm just absorbing the cigar. And I remember thinking, like, damn, this is a beautiful looking cigar for one thing. I know I'm spending a little bit of change on this cigar, but it was worth it. And I think the guy gave me a discount because the dude suggested to me. He just gave me a discount out of the blue. And I sat back and I was just kind of absorbing the cigar. And he was just like, man, how is it? And I was just like, yo, this is a good recommendation. And give you a little bit of Japanese osusume. Osusume means recommendation. Just to give you a little bit of vocabulary word there. And I'm just thinking that's how my brain thinks. So I'm sorry. I'm always like practicing in my head. But I was like, yo, this is a good recommendation, man. And he was like, I told you. He was hyped. He was like, I knew you was gonna like that cigar, and the excitement that brother had just for like introducing me to a new cigar. You know what I'm saying? And I'll never forget that moment. It was just kind of a good bonding moment. I can still remember the guy's face. I don't know his name, and but it was just a cool moment to have. That's the kind of stuff that makes the cigar community worthwhile, man, and it makes it fun, man. He said, I believe that La Aurora does have a decent Cameroon. It does, man. And we was talking about this. I don't know if we were on, if it was on the infamous smoke show. I think it was the infamous smoke show. My battery's going down, so I'm not going to be on very long, guys. Just giving you guys a heads up. But we were talking about, all the Cameroons. And then I was talking with Mike from Cigar Carpenter. And he's going through his Cameroon phase right now. And he's doing a shakedown. If you guys don't follow him, on Instagram, go follow that dude, man. He's doing some real cool stuff, doing like written reviews on his Instagram page. So right now he's doing a Cameroon shakedown. He just did a list of his favorite Cameroons, and believe it or not, he put the Eye of the Shark third. And I'm not even mad at him because the other Cameroons he had up there were really good. That being said, La Aurora has their Jewel series. I can't remember the exact name. They're all little perfectos, and they come in these like different colors. It's like sapphire, and the Cameroon is in like is it either a teal or a green color or something like that. I can't remember the colors off the top of my head. I hadn't had that cigar in like 2 or 3 years, to be honest with you. But I remember it being damn good. One, I love perfectos. Two, I love Cameroon, and I really enjoyed that cigar. Those cigars are not easy to get though. That's one of those, if I see it again, I know they're a little bit on the steeper side, but I would pay for that again because I want to try that and have that experience. That's a good cigar. Cameroon has been where it's at lately. And the cigar is finally smoking better. I think I finally got past where, the unbalance was with that tobacco. He said it's awesome to introduce someone to a great cigar. Bangani makes 100% African tobacco cigar. Did you tell me about that cigar before, or was that somebody else? Let me know. It's the darkest Cameroon wrapper, and it's grown in Cameroon. I don't know if you were on the infamous pod the other day, man. We was talking to Sanj. It was a lot of people in that pod, man. It was a lot of people there. But I had to ask him a question about like how many people can actually get African Cameroon tobacco. I want to try that cigar. If you think about it, in a cost, and if you get a chance, if you have like a link, like whether it's half wheel or just a website to that cigar, send it to me because I just want to see it for myself. I need to be able to see the cigar so I know exactly what we're talking about. Because I want to try this cigar somewhere down the line. If it's anything like I expect, or if it is as good as what Principal was doing with the Zimbabwean tobacco, man. I'm really really curious to try this more African tobacco, man. I'm really kind of curious to see what it's like. I watched some of the Sanj interview. That interview goes a long way, man. And when it comes to Sanj, it's a lot. It's a lot of information. Between me and John, man, we were really trying to keep him going and trying to keep it on some tobacco based stuff, man. We're trying to keep it cigar based too. It got a little off kilter towards the end. It was an interesting conversation, but it really is. It was a wealth of knowledge at the same time too. And it's not easy, because we've had Sanj on I think a total of 3 times. He was one of our first real big interviews, and then he kind of came on it for fun before we're innocent, and he came on this time around. So when you're doing that, it's kind of hard to like have new questions and to have new topics and stuff like that. And I know like that's why I really wanted him to talk about like some of the new stuff that he's releasing. What I'm really excited about is this Zodiac killer. That just came from an idea with us and some people in the chat. We were just kind of riffing off of that. And I don't know if y'all noticed that I'm not a big fan of all of this, Zodiac stuff and the way people are doing Zodiac cigars and all this kind of like I'm really not a fan of it. Peter just sent me like the one of the Year of the Dragons. That's a big ass cigar. I'm gonna smoke the cigar. It's by Davidoff. I'm gonna smoke the cigar, and that's probably gonna be on my next live. And I just don't like a lot of the gimmicks that are going on with a lot of this stuff, man. So that Zodiac killer sounds like it's gonna be some fire, and it's just a cool idea, and it's just kind of dope that he was able to just jump off and just say like, hey, I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna take this idea. I'm gonna make it happen. So I'm just Sarge has been really good to us, and just really been good to us as a community and as a podcast. So this ain't got nothing to do with like getting royalties from it or anything like that. I just want to see this kind of change the way cigars are going. I'm hoping it's really gonna have a major impact. I'm trying to see how much battery I got left. It ain't much, but I really hope this makes an impact. I really hope this industry, like, I want all these people to stop jumping on these bandwagons and just really make some creative stuff and come up with stuff on their own. You're going to make a profit regardless. Whether you're Davidoff, whether you are Fuente, whether you're Padron, they're going to make a profit. So they don't have to keep, doing everybody, the Year of the Ox, Year of the Rabbit, Year of this, like everybody's doing the same thing over and over. Like it's really kind of annoying. So I'm hoping this really does kind of change the game. But that's just from my perspective. So you hit the nail on the head. The Zodiac cigars are at best a gimmick and an absolute money grab. Yeah, and some of them haven't even been at the best quality. And just the fact that everybody's trying to hype up, this limited edition shit and this small batch shit and this whole like trendy, like, everything got to be $40. It got to be an anniversary. It got to be a $60. Who can make the highest price, most prestigious, collectible cigar? And I'm not getting these cigars to collect. I want to smoke my cigars. I want to smoke my best cigars. And I want to smoke the best cigars. You feel me? It really, like, when I made that post on Instagram the other day, it's just like, yo, you gotta dead the Zodiac shit. Like, I really meant that. And I know I'm a nobody. I'm just a dude living in Japan smoking cigars. But if I could find a way to push the needle and move the needle a little bit, and if I got to do that through Sanj, or if I got to do that through, the infamous cats, we got to move this needle, man. We got to move the needle. And we just got to make it better for the consumers. We just got to make it better, like, you still should be able to smoke an industry killer. You should be able to smoke a Juarez. You should be able to smoke a lot 40. You should be able to smoke an Umbagog. But at the same time, you should be able to enjoy a Sin Compromiso or enjoy a La Patisserie. You know what I'm saying? Not everything has to be $35, $45 for a cigar. Not everything has to be the eye of the shark. Not everything has to be a unicorn. Not everything has to be a Year of the Dragon. So Ellie's are usually bullshit, but sometimes they are the next level. It's nice when they don't jack up the price. And it's nice when they're giving you a limited edition that's actually limited. Like, I'm never mad at John Huber when, like, okay, if you got, say, Mil Diaz. Mil Diaz was a great cigar, and it did what it was supposed to do. So if you got the creative idea to try it with a Sumatra leaf on it, all right, let's do Sumatra. And if you only have a limited amount of Sumatra, okay, then cool, I understand it. But if it's in the same price range as the previous cigar, or maybe a little bit higher, I'm cool with it. And I'm going to enjoy it. but I want to be able to smoke the cigar too. I don't want to just actually collect everything. Everything ain't got to be Las Calaveras. Not everything has to be a Room 101 12th anniversary, 13th anniversary, 14th anniversary, 15th anniversary. And not everything has to be, a 10th anniversary that's going to cost you $40 or $50 to smoke that cigar. Especially when the original of that cigar was $7, $8, and it smokes just as good, if not better. But I understand the other side of it. They're like, yo, if you got that money on it, if you want to spend your money on that, cool. If you want to spend $7,000 to buy a Fuente and Padron cigar, hey, man, spend your dough on that. Spend your dough on it. I'm not telling anybody how to spend their money. But I am trying to make it better for the average, everyday Joe that wants to smoke their cigars from their favorite cigar makers. If you like Noel Rojas, I would want you to be able to get Noel Rojas when it's at a good price. If you like Eric Espinosa, I want you to be able to smoke Eric Espinosa stuff and smoke it at a good price. If you like Crown Heads, I want you to be able to get Crown Heads and smoke it at a good price, without feeling like everybody's trying to stuff their pockets. If you respect E.P. Carrillo and you like his cigars, you should be able to smoke a short run. You should be able to smoke an inch. You should be able to go out there and get some of his best stuff. You should be able to get a pledge and an allegiance without feeling like it got to be overhyped or overpriced. You should be able to enjoy it. And I feel like these cats will make a lot more money and survive and stay around a lot longer if they don't feel like if they're bamboozling their consumers. But anyway, thank y'all for joining in, man. This is a short live. I'm not going a full hour this time. I only got like 3% left on this battery. And thank y'all for kicking it with me, allowing me the chance to vent. Thank y'all for telling me about how you guys are doing, how you guys feel. I appreciate all of you guys to the utmost, man. So Lil Flex is up in here. He said, respect, bro, from NYC, New York. Becca! Puffy on the run. I did want to talk about Puff, man. I did want to get into Puff, man. I'm gonna get into Puff. When I come back this weekend, we're gonna talk about Puff, man. That whole thing is like, I got a lot to talk about with that. So we definitely gonna get into that. Let me catch up with what everybody's saying here before we get up out of here. Much love to you too, homie. And he said we're living in the golden age of good cigars. There are so many good cigars out there at all kinds of price points, and I love many of them that I can get my hands on. Same here. I feel you on that. Yeah, we're going to talk about Puff, though, Flex, for sure. The greatest enemy we can face is ourselves, and the greatest battle is against the darkness within. I pray for you and your family. Dude, I thought I was philosophical. Daniel, you be on it, man, and that's absolute money, bro. So I appreciate it, man. And, I studied Bruce Lee my whole life. I studied the Tao Te Ching and yin and yang. And that battle between light and dark and good and evil internally on the good side is something I've always been in constant war with, man. And it's just every day I'm just trying to get better. I hope y'all continue to get better. I hope everybody stays well. Sorry I can't do like a long, episode like I normally do, man. But I will be back this weekend, hopefully. And we're going to sit back and we're going to chop it up. We'll have some good stuff. So I'm going to come back with a Year of the Dragon. So when I come on again, have your best cigars. I want y'all to sit with me. Whatever your best is going to be at that moment. If it's a last call or if it's going to be a unicorn. Somewhere within the middle. If it's going to be an Eye of the Shark. If it's going to be an Añejo. If it's going to be Las Calaveras. Whatever you got that's your best at that moment, that you want to smoke, come kick it with your boy EKB, man. I'm going to be there. Y'all stay up, stay cool, and I appreciate every single one of y'all, man. You have a great day as well, Sal. Peace to y'all.